that's always it's always kind of there. Whenever a place starts doing comedy or something, they always want to be like, oh, we're thinking about doing the first show free. Well, then you're just saying, might as well just say like comedy open mic. If you don't treat it like these are legitimate, professional, national touring comedy shows going on, and charge money at the door, that's what invests them in the show. If you just do a free show, people come in, they're like, oh, I can wander in and out as I want, I can talk, if I get booted out, who gives a shit? If you treat it like it's not worth anything, then it's not. It is what it is.
Exactly. And it has to be a two-way street. Each side of it, the place hosting it, or you putting it together. I think there has to be a common ground where both sides are working and washing each other's hand, because if they have nothing invested, they're not going to invest anything into helping you out. And likewise, if I don't know, if you care about comedy, you'll invest it. But if they invest everything and you don't have to do anything, then you probably won't try to do anything.
Yeah, well, it goes three ways, even beyond the two. The comedians, there's a lot of comedians that just take another gig, and yeah, I get it. That doesn't make me dislike anybody as a comedian, but it's nice when you have a room that is invested in it. They put their time and work into it. They communicate well. Like, that's ideal for us. Something that we can talk to whenever we need to. We're always accessible to our rooms. They all have my cell phone numbers, emergency lines. It's nice when we have that for them too. And then when the comedian, if it's their first show or if they need feedback or help on something, when the comedian steps up and offers their advice and help and shows up early, does a sound check if they want them to, doesn't wander in 5 minutes after the feature goes up, that does help, even though sometimes it seems like a small deal to the comedian. When all three parties, are working to make it a better room, it helps. And it's hard for a comedian who travels and does thousands of rooms, all the time to invest in a single room, but it's not that much to just, show that you appreciate a room doing comedy and try to help a little bit. When you got the tripod going, it's powerful.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm seeing a lot here in today's, I guess you could say, comedy scene. A lot of places are wanting to get cleaner and cleaner. What's your take on that? Is that the case, or more people want clean, or is it just like one person wanting clean and fucking it up for the rest of us? Or
that's a good question. I continue to believe that funny is funny, and one thing I totally agree with is that feature acts should be on the cleaner side, and that's because the headliner, if they're a clean act, doesn't want to follow a filthy comic, and if the headliner is a bluer comic, the guy that goes up and is blue right before him, the impact to some of his material and bits that might be on the bluer side are kind of taken away from. But there are, the venues that have older crowds or are certain demographics. Sometimes especially the ones that have been around for a while, they've seen, when an act gets blue, people walk, and sometimes you have to sit down and say, well, are you just hearing the people complaining about the blue acts and not hearing the people that love the show? Because a lot of times, obviously, the negative stands out more than the positive, and then that's what we hear, and then we have to deal accordingly. But I try to stop, and some of our clubs that say, I want totally clean every week. I say, you love this act, way back when. Now you're wanting things to clean up. They killed in the audiences before. They'll kill in front of them now. I think a lot of places get concerned that if one table gets walked or a few people don't like a show, that their audience base is going to fall apart and word's going to get out. And it's like, you have to stop and look at all the people that enjoyed the act. The only problem with the acts getting blue, I think, is that a lot of guys will start out just real blue because it it's an easy start. I mean, to get chuckles from the drunk guys in the back of the room, you know, at an open mic you do, to just throw some fucking shit or fuck, you know, they throw some of that out there. You might get a chuckle from a few people. It's just a, you know, but if you're a good writer, then you don't really need to do that. And if you do have good bits that involve like blue stuff, then it has more impact if you do it maybe once or twice in your set as opposed to every other joke. I just don't think a lot of times it's necessary. I think, yeah, clubs are kind of, I think it's something that you have to deal with each individual club. And I don't know how many clubs ask entirely for a clean headliner as much as, you know, obviously MCs, you know, being the first face out there set the tone for the show a lot, so they need to be cleaner. And features, I think more and more are getting pressure to be clean. But yeah, I mean, it's different in all situations. I know comedians hate it.
Yeah, well, you know, like for me, I don't mind not cussing, but when you scrape away the cuss words from my act, there's still, you know, it's still dirty. Even if I don't say a single cuss word, it's
define that. Define dirty.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. Well, I got stuff in there now about abortion. There's stuff about rape. There's stuff about retards. You know, there's.
Is that all the same joke? Because you should probably drop that one.
What, retards?
Abortion, rape, and retards in the same joke. I don't know.
Well, yeah. The retard stuff goes into the abortion because I tell the retard stuff and then I say, you know. I done that bit one night, and a woman said, "How could you say that? How would you feel if your child was born retarded?" And I say, "Well, number one, it made me feel better about the abortion." It's so you know, there's no cussing there, but
it's your opening bit too.
No, God, no.
That's not big people do. That's how you build your rapport.
No, that's after juggling for a while and seeing how far I can take them. You know. I don't.
It's testy waters, man. I don't think that would go over well in a lot of places. But I mean, I think there are places that they would do. Okay, and it's one of the. You gotta think of it. Kind of, in my opinion, is that what you think is funny, and yeah, like that was pretty. Like that's pretty extreme stuff to put together in a joke, especially featuring. Like it is. Like those subjects are all kind of touchy in their own right.
Yeah.
And like combination. Like I think if you think, you know, if you pull it off right and it's well written and you deliver it well, then I think, you know, you can get laughs from it. But you have to think at the same time, like how many people just cringed, like had maybe chuckled but then cringed, and they're like, now they're gonna start judging every joke you do after that one.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, okay, this guy's kind of a dick. His next joke's better be funny.
Yeah.
Complain about that blue bit.
That's why I do gauge it. That's like you said. I don't open with that. That's something after I've tested the waters. I've got them on my side. I'll do that.